All right, so taking you through my day as a recruiter, it's typically like a serene day. I have different, I guess you would say, phases of what my day would entail. Usually, like the beginning of my day is typically like recruitment. I'm answering emails or I'm replying back to requests or what have you. Once I get those requests generally generate a job. During the beginning of the day, I typically put out my advertisements or my ads throughout the day. Sometimes I do it outside of the workday. It just depends on like my market and who my candidate is. I market towards my audience. Once I start my recruitment, it's typically like a fishing trip. It's not stressful. If you would just picture yourself, getting your bucket, whatever you need, your line, and then you get your nice chair, you get your radio, you get your headphones, you drop your line in the water, and then you just kind of sit and wait. And it's like this peaceful and serene experience until someone bites. It's not something where you need to feel like you're running like a chicken with your head caught off, so to speak. And it shouldn't really be a stressful experience where you throw yourself in the water and try to get the fish with your own hands. And you're in shark infested waters. You have to put yourself, the recruitment experience is really up to you. It's really what you make it. You can make it stressful. You can make yourself hate it. You could throw yourself in the water every time and try to catch fish with your bare hands and swim away from sharks if you want. Or you can get your chair and you can get your radio and you can drop your job description out in the water, and wait for someone to come. It's all up to you. But my recruitment experience is typically it's rather peaceful, and that's probably why I really love this job. It's like a fishing experience, so to speak, but it's a positive fishing experience. You're fishing for people that instead of dropping a line in the water where you're gonna, possibly gut something and eat it. In this case, you're dropping a line in the water where you could literally change someone's life. It's a matter of changing this person from being in a unemployed social class to putting them in an employed social class. It's employing someone to dropping your line in the water and waiting for someone to come along that you could, refer for a better opportunity, more money, that house that they'd been waiting to buy, or that child that their wife or girlfriend announced that they were pregnant. It's a matter of putting them in a better position to have a better life, better income, better benefits, better health care, whatever it is that they're seeking. You're dropping your line in the water and just waiting to change someone's life. And that's literally what my day entails. Also, in addition to that, I'm also running programs. I'm testing my programs, making sure that my AI and programs and my quality assurance is up to par. My most recent project was typically kind of creating this, if you will, like test on whether things were user friendly. The entire time, in the beginning, I was running survey tests. I was testing people on the quality assurance of the project. And what I found, what was most profound to me, was that, people were taking the surveys. They were telling me, that things were off, or they were telling me that things were okay and that things were running well. But it's funny that something told me to kind of revert back to my master's program and back to my doctorate program method of study. And that is effectuation and phenomenology, where you would actually implant yourself in the position of the test subject or the one that you're surveying, and you would actually take yourself through the experience. It wasn't until then that I found so many glitches. I found so many things that weren't connected, so many things that in the program that were just a nightmare. And once I'd completed that QA part of the program, where I kind of phenomenologically and putting effectuation to good use, realized how to tie all of those loose ends. And now I can definitely say now that the company is running at, I would say, I would put a certified stamp on it and say that we're running bug free. And I think that we'd probably only have maybe a 5 to 10% error rate from where I stood, unbeknownst to me when I was just running the QA from everyone else's standpoint. Unbeknownst to me, we were running at like a 90 something percentile error rate. And I highly, definitely support, like the undercover boss concept, where you go into your program and you stand in the position or seat yourself in the position of your customer or your client or your worker. No one knows what your program is supposed to run like you. Your client is coming in. They don't know if you've intended to put something somewhere in your program. Your customer doesn't know if it's intended that something is not supposed to be there. The only person that knows that something is supposed to be prompted when someone walks in or this is supposed to happen is you. So that's why I highly put a stamp on it for sure that if you want it, phenomenology and effectuation should definitely be a part of your company research process or your QA process. Whoever's making the decisions in the company, whoever's writing the policies, they need to go through, just like retail companies do secret shopper or what have you, projects. I truly, honestly believe just like you audit, just like you do your annual QA or your quarterly QA, I really feel like effectuation and phenomenology should definitely be incorporated into that. Again, like I said, no one knows what's supposed to be prompted, what's supposed to happen sequentially through your processes, but the person who created the process. And if the person who created the process isn't double checking on those processes to ensure that those processes are running as they should, you will be running, and unbeknownst to you, there will be an entirely different operation running, errors running, and you're not even knowing. So thankfully, I can honestly say that portion of the project is done. And now we're full-fledged and running fully throughout the HR side now of the recruitment process. So that now also gives me enough time to also, simultaneously study as I am doing the recruitment work, but also running my QA up alongside those processes and getting myself prepared for a possibly a phenomenological or effectuation type study on my recruitment process. And that should probably either start in 2023. I just need to solidify the process and just and put a stamp on that. But that is literally my job as a recruiter. I mean, while I'm sitting and kind of waiting for the candidates to bite, so to speak. I'm running my projects. I'm running my processes. I'm testing the model. I'm reviewing over my metrics, double checking if looking at numbers and seeing if those numbers should increase or if numbers should decrease. And then creating policies on what I should do to either increase or decrease those numbers.